SQL Firewall is a new feature in Oracle 26 AI and it helps to protect your database from SQL injection attacks. Say for example, if the user is supposed to run this query, select star from employees where first name is equal to. He can only pass a variable here. Then he will be able to see the values for that specific record. Instead of this, if the user is able to pass this thing, select star from employees where first name is equal to this thing, or 1 is equal to 1, then he will be able to fetch all the records from this table. So in order to avoid such SQL injection attacks, SQL Firewall helps us. For any database user that you want to protect through SQL Firewall, it creates an allow list. Allow list is nothing but a list of all the SQLs that this user is approved or allowed to run. From now on, if the user tries to execute any SQLs, SQL Firewall verifies if the SQL is part of this approved SQLs or if the SQL is in the allow list. If it is part of the allow list, the SQL gets executed, and if it is not part of the allow list, SQL gets blocked. That is the basic feature of the SQL Firewall. Let's see this practically. This is my 26 AI environment and I have a HR schema and a app user. HR schema is having these objects, and the app user is granted the read-write privileges on the HR schema's objects. To enable the firewall, we need to run this thing. Now we want to create an approved set of SQLs for this app user. For that, we need to run this thing. It is saying to create the capture for app user and start the capture as well, and only the top level statements. When you run a procedure or a function, only the invocations of the procedure or function gets captured, not the statements within the procedure or functions. They don't get captured here. With this top level only is equal to true. Now when this user connects and runs any SQLs, they get populated into the allow list of this user. They get populated to the allow list of the user. Let me log in as the app user. And run these SQLs. These SQLs now gets added to the allow list of the user. In the real time, when you start the capture, you run all the SQLs that this user is supposed to run so that they gets added to his allow list. Now as this is a test, we just want to show an example. Let me quit this session and stop the capture. And generate the allow list for the user. Now if you want to review the allow list of the user, app user, or what all SQLs does this app user is allowed to run, you can use this thing, DBA SQL Firewall capture logs. We can see that this user is now allowed to run select star from hr.employees where first name is equal to, and select star from hr.departments. Apart from that, the internal query also it wrote it into the allow list. To enable the allow list for the user, we need to run this command dbms SQL Firewall.enable allow list and then the username, and then we are enforcing dbms SQL Firewall.enforce SQL. We are enforcing the SQLs run by the user, and the action we are saying block as true. So if the user tries to run anything which is not there in the allow list, SQL will get blocked. We will see that. So to enable, okay, this procedure executed fine. What we have done is we have created the allow list for app user, and we populated that allow list with the select star from hr.employees where first name is equal to, and select star from departments. So let's try to connect that database as app user and try to run anything else beyond this and see what happens. Okay, I'm logging as app user. I'll try to run some other query, select star from where first name is equal to Martha. He is able to execute it fine. Let's try to run this query. You see that now if we try to execute a different query which is not there in the allow list, it is blocked by the SQL Firewall violation, and its execution is blocked. This way we can protect our database from SQL injection attacks using the SQL Firewall. Thank you.